Okay, so this one's a bit different. Today I'm just gonna make a tutorial on how to build. That's essentially it. How you build your character for PvP. So, basically, I would say there's two ways to build for PvP. You can either make something really specific, where you take a gimmick, for example, say, Trinity ghoul. Right? Here you get my gimmick like Trinity ghoul, and you see, how far can I go with this? Or, you can do what I do, where basically, all of my builds are my main builds. These are just my, neutral, I log into the game, and I pick one of these, and then I run with it. Now, in the current sandbox, in the current game, you can in fact get away with both, very happily. That's what I do. They haven't got to the sun in this season yet, because they mainly haven't played, but I have gotten there before. I believe I have, it's in competitive. I've gotten the last couple too. There's starting to go Umbrella Strong. I'll probably try that this season, because I have plenty of time. And, oh, I mean, it definitely works, but in the current way of the game, everyone's going to basically either be running hard meta, which is currently, I believe, like Void Hunter or Void Warlock with High Tyrant and a Slug. That is the meta. There's some people running Astro Horizon. I believe there's a couple of people running Rat King with it. You want to be, really silly, this is basically Trials. You beat Trials solo, worthy. And I'll probably go into this for my, main neutral build. So I'll leave it on. Or, yeah, people are going to be using gimmick builds, so stuff like, again, Trinity ghoul. Final Warning is a popular one. I've seen people using Wish and hot swapping to a 120 before. Bowglaive, all sorts really, so I would recommend at least having one on hand. Or at least, if you're gonna be like me and just use neutral stuff, just make sure you have the ability to counter it somewhere in your build. Me on Void Hunter, I tend to find Suppressor Grenade. There's always been a good option. And for Monarch, which is what I mainly like to run, I use Flux Grenades, because Flux Grenades just one-shot whoever's being annoying. There's also obviously weapon options. Most weapons in the game can counter them if you know what you're doing. So, let's go over how to set up just a basic Void Hunter build, because that's probably what most people are going to be doing anyway if they're on Hunter. So, this will be your best friend. Armor Picker isn't exactly updated, because it doesn't include the +5 bonus from Tier 5 armor. You didn't know. Tier 5 armor, you get a certain stats that you can choose to either give all of the non-focus stats, so anything other than health, grenade, or class on this thing, an extra 5 points, or you can decrease a stat by 5 points to gain 5 points in a different column, which is arguably what you want to be doing. Armor Picker doesn't have that. And if you don't know what Armor Picker is, basically this is how most people do their build crafting. Essentially you just pick out your stats from the grid, and then whichever one you particularly want, you just do. I'm actually confused, why can I not get 200 weapon stuff? 200 health right now. Okay, that would be why. That makes sense. Okay. So, neutral build-wise, there's a couple of things you gotta sort of think about. I personally recommend finding basically a set of stats that you like, and then keeping that the same across basically all builds. I personally like having 150 health, then at least 70 to 80 of my abilities. You think ideally I probably want to lower my class stat on Hunter and just dump it into melee, but I've just not played enough trials on my Hunter yet to get the slightly improved armor. Not going to be bothered because Iron Banner isn't coming back. Always have 100 intellect, 100 intellect on Hunter, just because Hunter supers are really good. And then obviously you want 70, 100 class stat, whatever one takes you back. That's what I run anyway. And it's the same across all my builds. If I switch to Warlock, you'll see that my Warlock builds have a similar effect. Strand is the only different one, because obviously on Strand, you're using Wave Walk. Everyone's using Wave Walk. I need to put a in there. I didn't know I didn't have that in. So 100 melee stat to decrease your intellects because Breadweaver Super is not very good. And then, yeah. But on these two, these stats are like basically identical. And you can see again, 150 health, melee, discipline, super. Just like slight differences in the rolls of the armor I've gotten. If I switch to Titan, just for completion's sake. My Titan is like almost exactly this. But yeah, because you use basically the same armor, so I'll take the sparrow off so you can actually see. They've all got basically the same stats. I think Titan's lower because I've got higher grenade or something like that. It's just a piece of armor. No idea, it's something in there. Yeah, so go back to pickup. First we want to pick our exotic, so if I'm just going to be me for remaking my Void Hunter build, for example, I'm going to want to just pick RDMs. I'm using Void, so I pick out the aspect I want. That's actually another thing, so when you're picking out your exotic, if you're doing just general neutral build, I would recommend just picking a neutral exotic. Probably the best ones right now, for Hunter in particular, are RDMs, Stompies, Dragon Shadow. Knockerhead's also good, but I just think it gets power creeped by the other three. Just pick one of them, you'll be fine. Then for fragments, again, neutral build. You kind of just want to pick whatever's going to be like the best for stats and what abilities you're going to be running. I know I want the extra radar. I want the extra stats whenever I suppress someone. Leeching's always good because it gives me health when I get a melee kill. Starvation's always good because it gives me access to Devour. And then an expulsion is probably the best aspect, neutral-wise, because it gives you intellect. And also the explosions actually deal a considerable amount of damage. I've actually won games because of them before. Then there are your sub bonuses. I've found for PvP, probably the best ones are 2-piece Zeros, 2-piece Lost Discipline, so Lost Discipline, very terminal velocity, 2-piece Iron Banner, although that's not obtainable. I found Rapid Repair's really good if you just want something to survive like the 122 taps every so often. And then there's Bushido. If you're using a melee ability a lot, the Swordmaster kit set could be good because the exhaust does make enemies deal lower damage in PvP, but there was that mainly for Strand or for Void Hunter again. The Trial set bonus as well. Very good one. That's the one I'm going to be using with the Iron Banner set because I think they're probably the two best ones. Like, just outright for neutral game. You can actually see on my build here. These are the two I use. I think they're the best. The Iron Banner set gives you chunk of health if you get a weapon final blow or your shield's depleted. You get stability, handling as your weapon, as your health gets lower, and pretty good. And then the 2-piece trial set is just free flinch resistance because you're going to constantly be sliding. Do you recommend them? Then, stat-wise, as I said, just... you can go basically 70, 70, 70, and 100. You can ignore the weapon stat if you're just not doing a weapon-specific build, honestly. The handling bonus is nice, but that doesn't scale above 100, and it's like 5 handling most of the time anyway, which just isn't worth it. So then, pick out which stat I probably want the most. I think I'll just go with, like, TNA, see what it stops at. I think, honestly, 8590 is probably better, and then there you go. So then, if you want to equip it, you just go click open loadout and dim after you click on this little sidebar here. I've got it specifically set up so it tries to waste as little stats as possible. It's probably basically irrelevant now because obviously full armor uses the specific amount of stats, but it basically tries to not let them in. But yeah, basically on the sidebar, pick them out however you want them. Then you click open loadout and dim, it opens up in here. Just give it a name. There you go. And then you click apply, that applies it in game. It'll put the mods on however you want them. And then all you need to do, once you're actually in game, is make sure your subclass is set up correctly, make sure your mods are set up correctly, which I'll go to in a second, and then do fashion, save it in the sidebar here. It's as simple as that really to make a neutral build. In terms of just general mods you want to be running, I think you can either do this, where you have one in flight, one special armor finder, and one kinetic targeting. Always use a minor mod on your helmet, because these are the most important mods. Or just use 2 of in-flight compensator or 2 of armor finder. I personally like in-flight compensator the most. I think it's probably the better one of the bunch, because you've got ammo gen mods down here, and they do basically all the work of an ammo finder. But if you really want special ammo, use special ammo finders. If you plan on actually shooting people, I would recommend just using double in-flight compensator. And then you always want a targeting mod on. I didn't use targeting mods for ages. You need them now, because our guns have just gotten so powerful and so good that if you're going to use anything other than the meta at all times, you need a targeting mod. Just use one. Next, on your arms, you can either use an orb of light mod, but I've learned recently it's better just to have 2 dexterity mods, and then you can use fastball, like something else said, but space. You can also, if you, by using a weapon that have the same elements as your thing, just use 2 harmonics, you get even faster handling. Then on your chest piece, I honestly recommend just having 2 unflinching for your primary. It takes a second when you ADS for unflinching to even activate, and it only works whilst you're ADS anyway. So I would just use 2 unflinching for your primary, your main weapon, and then whatever your secondary is going to be, whether it's a second primary or a shotgun. You kind of just have to hope you don't need it, or again, just use very early for the trial set, I should say. And that'll give you enough flinch resist. It'll also give you more flinch resist for your main weapon. And then just run an ammo generation mod of your main weapon. You can technically run 2, but again, the weapons are so good at this point, you kind of just need to run 2. so you don't get flinched at all. And then on your legs, you want a pulse mod for your secondary, ideally. And then I think better already is still worth running. Do not run recuperation. Your hofstyle will basically do the same thing. And then you can either run enhanced athletics if you want more mobility, if you're on the hunter. A surge if you plan to actually get orbs. Or I would say just use absolution. So you get the bit of ability energy whenever you pick up an orb. And that's basically it. It's very simple. You kind of just need to put your class how you like it. If you want to exactly copy what I've got, I would say just run Spectral. Gambler's Dodge. I've got triple in here because I prefer triple. Snare Bomb. Suppressor Grenade on the brow, finishing step, and then you've seen the fragments. And that's basically the best Void Hunter build in the game. And is also a pretty good neutral build. This will kind of just work for anything, and that's kind of the point of them. They're meant to work with anything and do anything. But the interesting bit comes in when you have to do an actual build. So, I've got an idea, I have not actually done it yet, so that's going to be in the gameplay for today. So I plan to use Lucky Pens, because I want to use a handcannon. And then instead of Vigilant Watch, I want to use... I think I have the armor for it. I don't think I have the armor for it, actually. I was going to use Reflex Action. And I don't think I have the ability to do that now, so that's unfortunate. Do I have a class? I'll explain what I'm doing once I found one. Nope. My Titan won't have it because I know I haven't looked at it. Okay, well, different idea then. Let's go. We're gonna make it around the sub-bonus. And we're gonna make it around the sub-bonus. No, I've got a different idea actually. We're just gonna do Trinity also. Gonna be silly now. I could technically use this class I am I've got. Won't do that. So yeah, Trinity. So for the more specific builds, you've got to sort of think about literally everything. What exactly are you wanting it to do? So I'm gonna use Bacchus because that's probably the best arc thing. We want that much melee. They probably want less health stat, actually. They use less health stat to get 150 melee, I think. As much class stat as possible, and then it's fine. You. So, here we go. I have not selected my sub-bonuses yet, so yeah. You want to make sure you've got basically as much stats as possible. I think I've crashed armor this sometimes. There we go. So if I do U2, so I get my flinch resistance. I'm gonna honestly just take away the health stat. Fine. Just not one stat. Yeah, you get 135, that's fine. As much class as possible, which gives me one of these two. Which, that's fine. Honestly, I could probably get better stats if I just roll a new, statistics, yes. So, you know, this is just an example. I won't do that. So, we got that there. Then we need to pick out our aspects, which in this case I'm going to use feedback and resistance. Just those two, I think, because, arc, yeah. which means we can get slightly higher melee stat, which means I know this build. Then I want to use triple jump, Leok staff. I want to have Gambler's dodge jump because I can get my melee back on combination blow. I do my thing. And then instead of Tempest Strike, I think I want Lethal Current Ascension. And then in order to get my melee as quick as possible, because I'm going to be hitting people with frequency, recharge, and ions. And there we go. So while that's applying, I shall explain what's going on. So basically, the main gimmick of this build is to dodge into people, melee them, get the damage buff from Mask of Bacchus, get my dodge back because I've just meleeed someone, be able to one-shot them because now I've just meleeed someone, and of course, combination blow grants me a melee damage buff whenever I get stacks of it. Then I'm going to use Trinity Wall, which I need to transfer it, to chain off of that, to now get one-shots. Then that's basically just going to blow up the entire team, which I believe is a relatively hard thing to actually pull off in game, but we'll see. So, with that all in mind, I've got basically no health stat, which is a bit of an issue, so we're going to have to fix that in a second. But I'm going to use these to get my stuff higher. I'm not going to masterwork these past, like, I think, just the materials. I could technically get to 150. I'll have to see if that's worth it. But then, because we're going for rapid kills, we're just going to use a siphon mod so we can get more stuff. Hands on so I can get more supers. And then, unlock targeting mod. One heavy handed for more orbs. Double arc siphon on my chest piece. These will always be the same. And then, I think I'm going to use weapon searches. Just to be sure. I want Q. Okay. So, my mods are now set up to basically give me warps and give me supers whenever I get kills with arc stuff. They should be getting multi-kills, because I'll be meleeing people with this, unless they only hold on. And then jolts in there and basically just kill everyone. I'll get my super back really quickly, because they're already decent melee stat. Oh, not melee stat, super stat. That should basically work. That's essentially how easy it is to do a proper build if you know what you're doing. But yeah. You gotta just pick a gimmick and you make it work. That's essentially what it is. So, let me see if I can simplify that better. So, Mask of Bacchus gives a blink. It gives me an arc damage buff. The arc damage buff mixed with the surges should allow us to basically just annihilate people with the buff it gets worth as the chain lightning. The extra melee stat should help us one-shot people more. Should honestly be running a glaive. They should. They should be running a glaive. Where is a glaive? There it is. And then, because we're generating orbs off of Laura, because I got my super back, I can use my super a bunch. And then the chain should continue from that. What I was gonna do is I was gonna use Lucky Pants with the new sub bonus from the Renegade stuff. It is. From the Renegade stuff. And basically it just makes it so you have like ridiculous stats, but I guess I just deleted all my gear for it, so that's not happening anymore. Yeah. It's really that simple, so we're gonna play a game with this. I can't promise this is gonna go well, because of course I've never used this part in my life, so... This might go terribly. Then I'm expecting it to go terribly, honestly, because... This is quite niche. And it's definitely not my normal playstyle. I'll just use this. That works. So... resume the recording when we actually load in.
Show me you can take ground.
Okay.
Hold the zone.
So... let's see if I can pull it off. I do realize I've forgotten to put the right dodge on, so it might be maybe a bit screwed already. I just didn't change my dodge.
Zone B. You have advanced.
You can tell I've never played this book before.
Tell them to line up faster. Hold down. Look at them fall. Outstanding.
There, you change my dodge now. Oh, but I did have the right one on. Okay, I guess it's just, because it's the backwards dodge. I've not used this exotic in ages. Done. It's really weird how you couldn't see the flow of his fusion rifle. Usually you can see that when he's in this, or at least I believed you could. Oh yeah, that's another thing the melee stat does. The melee stat actually makes it so I get my melee back when I dodge. Because that's what they changed it to. They didn't say you need like 150 to get your melee stat back. There, I remember. Okay, everyone's like playing just casual.
Double down.
This is basically it. Is he throw a grenade at me? honestly doesn't help me right now. This team is like just not playing the game. As you can see, when it works, it works.
Zone B captured. Zone of
But I've already got super. We're like barely any of the way into the game, and I've had a super probably for a while, honestly. This is a roaming super. This one doesn't come back very quickly. Honestly, I might actually just save this and this will be running run next week for Arms Week. Make a video on Trinity Ghoul in particular.
minutes left. Keep it up.
Honestly, a nuclear war was going on. I don't know if I got a shotgun or not. It's like the annoying, it's the annoying thing about fighting with those players right now.
Zone B lost. They have advantage.
I can't like do my gimmick to its full capability because I don't know if I'm about to get hit with like a shotgun.
Double down. Zone B captured. Zone advantage is yours.
I do think I'm missing something from this build as well. Oh yeah, but look at the most people have some way of healing.
Double down. Together as one.
Oh.
I love it. Hunters like you blaze a path for the rest of us. Double down.
But yeah, I can kind of just I can kind of just run at them. Sorry, I've been like sick the past week, by the way. Kind of just recorded about 4 videos, including this one back to back, so
Imminent.
do apologize. But anyway, I definitely think there's healing involved somewhere, but they kind of can't do anything about me anyway. I think the main thing is I'm just not being confident with it. If I was confident with it, I'd be able to completely destroy these guys. It's so unfortunate that happened. There we go.
Zone B lost. Enemy has advantage.
This map also doesn't help.
Zone B captured. Zone advantage is yours.
Second super, by the way. I was like way more aggressive. I probably could have got a couple supers. But yeah,
You could give the Red Jacks a
I'm pretty sure with optimized armor you could probably get like 150 melee, 100 super, and just completely spam them. But Of course I'm not doing that today, so... yeah. I think that's it, really. If you liked this video at all, if you got anything interesting from it, anything useful, like, comment, sub, and adios.